annals of history, the ancient Greek philosopher Plato stands as one of the most influential figures. Known for his philosophical inquiries into the nature of reality, justice, and knowledge, Plato's works continue to provoke thought and discussion. Among the many subjects he examined, there lies a controversial topic: eugenics, a practice we define today as the selective breeding of humans to improve the population. But was Plato truly a proponent of such ideas? To explore this question, we need to delve into one of Plato's seminal works, the Republic. In this dialogue, Plato sets forth a vision of an ideal society governed by philosopher-kings. He presents the concept of a guardian class, individuals selected and educated to rule the state due to their superior abilities and virtues. Herein lies the foundation of the argument for his potential support of eugenics. In Book 5 of the Republic, Plato describes a process of selective breeding among the guardian class. According to his reasoning, just like in the breeding of animals, the best should pair with the best to produce a superior offspring. Plato suggested that this selective breeding would be managed through careful manipulation of marriages and procreation. However, it's vital to understand that these were not casual musings, but rather a part of his broader philosophical exploration of justice and the perfect society. But what can we infer about Plato's attitudes towards eugenics based solely on this work? Was he endorsing a rigid authoritarian control over human reproduction, or was he merely theorizing about an ideal society? Many scholars argue that Plato's intentions were more speculative than prescriptive. His depiction of selective breeding could be seen as allegorical, a means to illustrate the concept of rational planning and governance, rather than a proposal for real-world application. Moreover, examining this fragment of Plato's thought must be done with great caution, paying heed to the cultural and historical context. Ancient Greece was a world vastly different from ours. Ideas about citizenship, rights, and societal roles were framed in terms drastically different from the modern perspective. To label Plato simply as a proponent of eugenics might be an oversimplification of his philosophical endeavors. Furthermore, it's essential to consider the purpose behind Plato's writings. His dialogues were often didactic tools designed to provoke critical thinking and philosophical debate. Through the character of Socrates, his works often pose challenging questions rather than delivering straightforward answers. By exploring the implications of selective breeding, Plato might have been inviting his readers to ponder deeper ethical questions about human nature and governance. In conclusion, while elements of what we now term eugenics appear in Plato's The Republic, it remains debated whether he genuinely advocated for these practices. His ideas were entwined with broader philosophical considerations of justice, the ideal state, and the complexities of human nature. From the distance of millennia, we can appreciate Plato's work as a stimulus for thought, urging each generation to re-evaluate what constitutes a good society. As with much of Plato's legacy, his reflections on eugenics challenge us not to accept his ideas uncritically, but to use them as springboards for our own ethical and philosophical explorations.